My name is Sauraen. I was the director of Triforce Percent Ocarina of Time Ace Showcase at SGDQ.
Very big round of applause for him for sure. I am dwangoAC, keeper of TASBot. I organize all this craziness. I had the honor of serving with Sauraen. With us today is also a couple of fantastic folks.
My name is Big Salt. I am a silly button pusher. I'm a speedrunner of Ocarina of Time.
You're sixth in the world, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You're number 6 in the world.
And I'm MBC. I'm a high-quality ripper and a music arranger from Siva Gunner and Timmy Turner's granddad.
So, if you didn't read the panel description, could I have a little more of myself in the PA? Yeah. So, if you didn't read the panel description, what we're doing is we're going to do the same setup that we did at GDQ for getting Arbitrary Code Execution in Ocarina of Time, and then we're going to inject just the initial patches to the game engine that will allow us to load further content, and then we will take suggestions from you about what to put into the game. And this is a real cartridge, real N64. The N64 is modded, but it doesn't affect the contents of the game.
Yeah, it's just an HDMI mod.
It's actually RGB mod.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, RGB mod.
yeah.
But anyway,
with an upscaler.
yeah, an upscaler and stuff. So, but anyway, real cartridge. This is there's no ROM changes. This is the original game, just like at GDQ. This is everything you're going to see is done with Arbitrary Code Execution. So, we're going to need in about 10 minutes, once the setup is done, we're going to need suggestions for things to put into the game. And here's the parameters, because we're gonna build those suggestions live, and then we're going to inject them into the game and hope that the game doesn't crash. So the game might crash. You might be here for an hour and a half, and then the game crashes, and then you go home, and everybody's sad. So if you can't accept that, you should leave now. No, I had to accept that in order to get up here. So here's what we'll be able to inject, because theoretically we could make whatever we want, whatever we have time to develop. But we're gonna have the setup, intro stuff, go through the run, not the whole run, but like the initial part of it. And so we're gonna have about an hour to build content, and then a few minutes at the end to tweak things and get it better. So it's got to be kind of simple-ish kind of stuff that can be done. So first of all, we're gonna do one music track. We're gonna do a Siva Gunner style melody swap. MBC is gonna arrange it. So you got to pick a base Ocarina of Time track that will get mutilated, and then what song or songs to put into it. And she will do that for an hour, and then whatever is the state of the project at that point will get injected, and we'll hear it. And on my side, I'm going to live 3D model in Blender a character and create the code for it based on a couple templates I've already made. So this can be either an NPC that we walk up to and talk to and has some sort of line, some sort of basic animation, maybe one idle animation and then one animation when we talk to them, something like that. Or it could be a very simple enemy that has like a very basic animation or a very basic kind of action like that. So don't talk to each other yet about these ideas, but what we're going to do is we're going to do the initial part of the run. We're going to get Arbitrary Code Execution. We're going to do the initial part of the injection, and then we're going to stop, and I'm going to ask people to discuss in little groups about some ideas, and sort of of all the people surrounding you, come up with your best idea, and then I'm going to pick one person from each of those groups, and you'll shout out your ideas, and then we'll pick what we think is the funniest and also sane that we can actually build it in an hour. So does that make sense? Cool.
Get excited, class. You can choose your own groups.
Yeah, so again, this is an unmodified cartridge. If you want to examine it afterwards, that we can reprove it. But anyway, the point is, even if it was modified, the game's going to be here running the whole time. So whatever we come up with, we don't even know what's going to be in the game. So it couldn't possibly have been a ROM hack because it would have to be there already. So, but yeah, it's a vanilla game. So we're going to get started, and it'll be about 10 minutes to go through this setup.
We just choose any file name, or do we take it from the audience, or what?
So in the Triforce Percent script, it has his name hard coded as Link,
okay.
But we're not actually going to be showing that. So we can make his name whatever we want. Why don't you pick so we don't have to waste time on asking the audience?
MAGFest, baby.
All right.
So Dwango is going to mainly be sitting here and just running OBS and the mixer and stuff.
Yeah, for once I'm not doing anything. Usually I have a whole lot more work here, but he's doing the vast majority of the presentation and the rest of the crew over here. So I just get to sit here and look pretty.
We love you, TASBot!
TASBot is also over here looking pretty.
So this is the intro of the game. I won't go into the whole explanation about arbitrary code execution. Raise your hand if you saw Triforce %. Okay, better question. Raise your hand if you didn't see Triforce %. Okay,
Oh, there's a fair number of people.
Raise your hand if you don't really know what it is. Okay, so let me explain. So, can you get a little less of that? Yeah. I mean, this is what happens at the beginning of Ocarina of Time. I'm not sure what's funny. I'm a very not sense of humor type of person. So.
It was the timing of...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very much timing.
Anyway, yeah, so in various old video games, there sometimes is found an arbitrary code execution exploit. Arbitrary code execution means that the player somehow manages to write their own code into the console's memory just by playing the game and then get the console to execute that code. So normally the game, this is a computer, the console is a computer, it's executing code written by the developers, Nintendo, and arbitrary code execution means that you get the CPU to start executing code written by the player. And you can't modify, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but it's not arbitrary code execution in the speedrunning context if you've modified the ROM. It's not arbitrary code execution if you solder things into the console other than, RGB mods or stuff like that. So, it really has to be vanilla game, and you just sit down, press buttons on the controller, somehow set up some memory to be some instructions that are meaningful, and then you get somehow using glitches, get the console to execute that code. So how you do each of those things is different in every game that has arbitrary code execution. This is used, for example, in Pokemon Red. You use your inventory to be the memory that represents the code that you're going to execute. So, for example, you have item 5, and you have 7 of them. Then you have item 53, and you have 4 of them. Then the memory will say 57534, and if 57534 is also the code for jump to the ending, then you've written that code into memory and you use some glitches to get the game to execute that code, and then you jump to the ending and you've beaten the game. So arbitrary code execution is usually used for any percent speedrun in games that have this exploit. There's a couple cases it's not, but we're not using this for getting to the end of the game, or at least not the normal end of the game. We use arbitrary code execution to install a set of data loaders in the console's memory, which will allow us to live patch the content of the game through TASBot from the host computer. So that is what we did at GDQ. We had this whole thing going about how this was a beta showcase, and it started as a beta showcase, and then it got more and more custom until at the very end we showed Breath of the Wild, Link and Zelda in Ocarina of Time with voice acting. We put in Twitch messages live from the viewers and, made a lot of people happy. And it also, so that the other piece is the reason it's called Triforce % is that there's a whole bunch of urban legends and beta content for Ocarina of Time, which some of these things were left in the cartridge and some of them were not in the cartridge, but shown in old advertisements or videos or magazine screenshots about Ocarina of Time. And so we made a whole plot leading to the Triforce, which was based on this beta content and urban legends and stuff. And we hacked it all into the game, in the console's memory live while the speedrunner was playing at GDQ. And so we made all of these urban legends finally come true because it was all just arbitrary code execution exploits in the vanilla game. No mods or anything, and then we got the Triforce, and then we went on into Breath of the Wild stuff. So we're not going to be doing any of that plot, but the beginning of this, the initial code and everything for the game engine patches and stuff is the same. And you'll see my screen. You can see, most of this is going to be, my screen will be on the projector. I'll have Blender open, or I'll have some text editor open and editing code. So you'll get to see a lot of this. And I'll ask Dwango just switch back and forth, whatever. I'm not going to try to narrate everything that's happening. This is the ACE setup. Basically, yeah, woo, we got something. So in Ocarina of Time, the way you get arbitrary code execution involves manipulating where things are in memory. So there is a region of memory called this is going to get a little technical for a moment, but you're going to be seeing technical stuff for the next 2 hours, so get used to it. There's a region of memory called the actor heap, and this contains the code and the like temporary data, the state of all of the actors that are currently loaded into memory. So actors would be something like Link, or the rupees, or the sign, or the grass clumps, or basically anything that has a behavior in game. And there is a region of memory where they're all allocated, and they can be there, like the order that they're there in memory doesn't normally have any impact on the game, just like the game keeps track of where everything is. But like when you go through loading zones or you like cut bushes or collect rupees or whatever, that will remove things from the heap. And then if you do other things later, it can add things into the heap later. So basically the specific set of actions we're doing is manipulating this memory heap to be in a certain order. The reason it needs to be in a certain order is we need to have one item that's loaded in a particular place that we then use a glitch to unload the item, and without updating the fact that it's unloaded, and then load something else into the same place. And the something else that we load in is the code for another item. And so when the game tries to update the temporary data for one object, it actually ends up overwriting code for another object. And that's how we sort of initially break through the separation between code and data, which the computer is supposed to maintain all the time. If that was, there's a very, very quick summary. There is an excellent video from IsoFreeze, also known as Retro Game Mechanics Explained, who was a partner of us. He released his video right after Triforce Percent, like within minutes. He had worked with us in advance to make that. So that explains it. It's a half-hour-long video, goes over all the memory addresses and sort of explains this whole setup that you're seeing here. Did I miss any important pieces of that?
Not yet. There's a lot to take in there. A lot. Even my brain hurt the first several times I heard him explain this, so it's okay if you're sitting here going, I have no idea what he just said.
And I have to admit, so I didn't fully understand the SRM ACE setup, which we're doing, until after I saw the RGME video, after the project was done. Because, this wasn't just me who made Triforce Percent, it was a team of 25 people. And we had a couple of people, Save State, our runner, who's not here, we have Big Salt instead, who was our runner at GDQ. Save State collaborated with Mr. Cheese to make this setup for us, tailor it. I mean, the ACE setup had been known in the community, but they tailored it for us. So I didn't even understand all of that, but I wrote the bootstrappers and a lot of the code then building on that. So,
Here, so the first glitch to explain, you see that return button is now stuck.
Yes, and Link will turn soon. Yeah, so the camera is now stuck, and that's going to help with unloading something at the right time.
So now we have to readjust the camera by shoving ourselves back into the hole. That'll point the camera a different direction right here. Are you going for the safety save, or if you're going all out? Safety save, all right.
I'm no fool.
If this crashes here, we will we only have to replay 3 minutes instead of 7 minutes if we do the safety save.
I need the audio right now. So.
All right, we're going to give you some audio.
Okay, take 2.
This isn't an easy glitch.
Yeah.
This also requires a little bit of listening to an audio cue. But luckily, all you have to do is reset with the room.
And then recollect another one of these rupees.
Go back and
You have to not have that rupee collected. You have to collect the other rupee, but not that one. So.
This is not easy stuff. I have never managed to pull this off myself, and I have tried.
I have not tried because it looked hard.
It is hard.
I'm an engineer. I put all my points up here, none of them here. I can't play this game very well.
See, I tried to do it by cheating, by making a tool-assisted speedrun and trying to play it back. Working with a team of other folks to try to do this. It turns out this game has so many different elements of entropy, elements that could influence the RNG, the pseudo-random number generator, like these modes you see flying around. There are so many different things that can influence randomness that there's no way to get deterministic behavior. He told me that would not be possible. I thought I'd try anyway. Didn't work out great.
Yeah, so basically you can't task Ocarina of Time on a real console without any kind of mods. Or you can send the inputs into the game, and we're going to do that, but it's not going to do the same thing every time in terms of the in-game actions. But based on what we're doing here, once we actually start the task segment, it won't matter what the in-game actions are. So.
Yeah, and this is kind of unusual. Most of the time, the TASBot community is doing everything just with a tool-assisted speedrun on a console, but this one requires a human runner. We're going to go to quiet time for a second.
got it. So Link is holding nothing. That was the first part of the arbitrary code. So we had Link holding a rock. We got the rock to unload while Link was still holding it. And so then he's walking around, updating the memory, updating the position and rotation of what the rock was, but now that's unused memory. We get the code for something else to load in there. And so now we're writing these position and rotation values for the rock into, like, in the middle of the code for this invisible rupee. And that will corrupt the code and change it to something useful that we can then do further things with. And this is not frame perfect, but like input perfect. So we don't want to turn that way.
We don't want to turn that way.
If we turn that way, it will crash. So Salt is using the little yellow minimap arrow and looking at the number of pixels that the minimap arrow is on each side to determine his exact angle. So like, is the arrow like 3 pixels, or like 5, 2 pixels, then 3 pixels, then 2 pixels will indicate the angle.
This is pretty precise, so.
Yes. So it has to be an exact short value, 16-bit number, and this is a setup to start from a known angle and then put Link at that particular angle. So. And now this is the last part of the turn, buffering this turn. Thanks for your patience. Nope.
This frame is extra long, I promise.
There we
That's
go.
the one.
All
That's the
right.
frame. So let's see what happens. So I'm switching controller 1 from Big Salt to TASBot. So TASBot is connected to all 4 controller ports right now, and we're going to run a little task movie. It did not work. Some part of the setup was wrong, but let's just wait for it to crash.
So things are going to crash. Now the question is how? We did promise crashing, didn't we?
Yeah, okay. It just wait a minute. Back to you.
Did it crash?
No, it didn't crash. So just head back into the house and oh, now it crashed.
Ah!
Hey, there it is.
Yeah!
Our first crash.
I'm so glad that I safety saved.
Yeah, I'm so glad you safety saved. By the way, the yellow line you saw in the upper corner, that was what gave us the indication that it had indeed fully crashed.
Well, yeah, it's not fully. So the N64 is actually kind of a modern system in the sense that it has multiple threads. So it's a single core CPU. It can only run 1 thread at a time, but it still can have multiple threads in memory. And so that yellow line is the crash debugger, which is 1 thread telling you that one of the other threads has encountered an error code. And you can actually input a debug code and see what the error is. It'll print out on screen, TLB exception on load at this address and the stack trace and everything, and then we can actually use that to figure out what went wrong.
So we're redoing a little bit of the setup here. You'll get another chance to see that out of bounds section. You noticed that Link was carrying nothing above his head for a while, and the camera was locked way away. The reason we had you be quiet was so that we could navigate Link all the way across the map blind using audio cues. Congrats on getting that on the first, well, I guess the second try, but it's not easy to do. I have never managed it myself.
Yeah, the audio cues are the number of beats in the music. So it's like walk right for 5 beats and then, whatever. It's a real music and gaming here, right? All right, so while we're doing this, think but don't yet talk amongst yourselves about some ideas for what to inject. So again, we're looking for an original song from Ocarina of Time, a melody to replace it with, and then some character, something kind of simple on the simple side. If it's complicated, the 3D model is going to be absolute trash. So if it's simple, then it'll be maybe halfway decent.
Give an example.
Why did it crash there?
It's up, you tell me.
Okay. Let's try it again, I guess.
I'm going to use a line from Games Done Quick. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
Are you sure you collected all the correct permanent rupees?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay.
So that's a really good question. I don't actually have a good theory, and so here's my concern, right? We value your time. We don't want to have to keep redoing the beginning setup. So my worry is that maybe something you didn't notice subtly went wrong during the rupee route, but I don't think that's the case, because we would know, right?
I bet you got all. So, all right, I'll trust you.
I definitely did.
We'll do one more try before switching to the flash cart. Oh yeah. So let me tell you about some examples of like 3D models / characters. So I practiced this panel twice. I went through and like speed run building a character. The first one I did was Patrick Starr raising his hand and saying, "Is mayonnaise an instrument?" And then the second one I did was a mimic chest. So like a chest that just sits there and then you approach and then it goes chomp, 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 chomp and follows you. So something like that. That's like, not complicated, reasonably simple model, a line or two of dialogue, something like that. And we'll do our best to make it happen. I promise, though, things crashing at the beginning is much less painful than, like, I make a bug, because there is, like, seriously, like a 30% chance that I'll just typo something in the code and we'll just inject it and it'll just crash, and then we have to do the setup again. Or we can switch to the flash card. So we also have, a ROM that is not using now, but I have a flash card in my bag that has a ROM that has a simple mod that will just give you ACE for free. It doesn't have any like modded content in it. It's just a mod that makes ACE really easy. So if things go really badly, we can switch to that, but I'd rather not.
All right. Oh.
Does it not work from a race file, maybe? I've never...
Save state practice it from well, I don't know about a race file, but
Yeah, I know, right? So we have basically two options. We can restart on the real cart from scratch, or because I think that's probably the safest option. This is odd. Is there any way to get into the debug info right quick? Yeah. So you guys can actually see the crash handling.
We can't necessarily tell
anything
what the
about it.
problem is from that. Well, maybe. Okay, so PC is way off. So let's wait for it to go. Oh no, it's not going to go forward. Can you go forward to the stack trace? It's in the middle. I don't know. If somebody with more expertise was here, they might be able to tell. But I think we should start one more from a clean file.
Scratch? Okay.
And that doesn't work.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start one more time from a clean file. And if that doesn't work, then we'll switch to a flash card.
Should we start getting ideas then on what to do while this is going on?
Yeah. So let's do that during the the intro and everything. It definitely works from a file that was saved in the house after the intro was done. So, but yeah. All right. So please take 5 minutes, group up into little groups, and discuss and pick your group's best idea.
And we're sure the name doesn't affect anything? We said the names.
The name wouldn't affect anything. It's not. The name isn't even drawn on screen.
I didn't think so.
At that time. No, there's no way.
Yeah, my best guess is we probably missed a rupee somewhere.
Yeah, I think we must have missed one of the permanent rupees, or something that got saved. Oh, you got them. Okay. Can you make sure it doesn't go off of if you close your browser, it'll go away. Is there some way to?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. You're good. Okay. For the folks who are leaving, sorry, folks. done this a million times perfectly, so like.
I know you can do this. Heck, I literally saw you do it.
Don't worry, third time's a charm.
That was.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't. I'm just kidding.
One more thing. Could I have your attention for a moment, please? Thanks. So I will want I'll give you a little more time, but I will want just one idea from each group, either a song or a character. And then also, if the meme is too obscure, I won't know it, and also other people won't know it. So like the more, I mean, it doesn't have to be like really super mainstream, like top 3, but like more mainstream is better. I see a couple questions. Yes? No, I'm not asking for suggestions. I thought you had I'll give a little more time and then yeah. Someone who was over here had a question? Oh, okay. All right, these are questions, not suggestions, correct? All right, yeah. Shh. Okay, example of the kind of music to be achieved. We can take any of the original songs except for Hyrule Field and basically change whatever we want about them within an hour by a skilled arranger. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. Question back there? Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so you have 2 more minutes. Oh, one more question. Oh, yeah. Tech person, would you mind? They want to dim the lights a bit. Do you not know the code? I'll type in the code. I know the code. It helps being staff here.
Stand by. A staff member is attending to the situation shortly.
Actually, we can't do this because this room is wired to panels 2, and we don't want to change their lights. So, sorry. Can you put that through a filter in OBS to make it like more white, like brighter, more contrasty? That's not going to work well? Okay. All right, well, okay, but if that, okay, whatever. We shouldn't then. You have 2 more minutes to discuss, and then I will ask one representative from each group.
I can try, but it might not go well.
Question.
These are questions. Question? Hyrule Field is 22 different sequences, each 8 measures long, and there is a sequence which is basically a program that loads a random one next based on whether you're fighting an enemy or whatever. And modding that is possible, but not soon. Yeah.
I think there was another question over here.
It was from Dwango's daughter, so.
Well.
Yeah. What did she say? Oh, the eyes.
Are you asking? Is like one of the things we can do?
Question here. Shh, folks. Yeah. So we had one script on the laptop that was reading the Twitch like our API. It was like the IRC channel version of Twitch. And also giving us like the username badges and everything. We put so the messages were not ever displayed directly on screen. We scanned the messages for the phrase "here together" or certain supported emotes, and then we'd put in some representation of that. So like, not just any arbitrary set of text and emotes, but the usernames we had to scan for explicit content because we had one chance to do this, and we took 3 separate existing profanity filters and then added our own words. Again, like this would have been way too restricted for like a normal text filter because it would have filtered out like parts of like, I don't know, assemble or something like that would have been nixed. But then what we did is if there was a bad word, like if your username was assemble, right, and there's a bad word in there, so it would just replace the bad word with random characters and then put you in the back. So your name was still there, but you couldn't really see the text. And so everybody still got a chance to participate, but maybe their username was a little scrambled. And all of the code, by the way, that we made for Triforce Percent, everything we made, not including any Nintendo copyrighted assets, we all put it all up on GitHub. So you can see all the scripts for the Twitch and everything. But yeah, I'll give you one more minute to discuss, and then I will take suggestions. Making it more saturated.
Actually, quite a bit.
Maybe just more bright without being outside. Because that looks like really green.
Default. So that's what we're trying. Yeah. Okay.
It's not over yet. Please.
No, I don't need the sound.
Oh, with the sound, but okay, sure. Are you giving a suggestion or asking a question? Okay, question?
The audio, there's like every quarter note. I'm counting the quarter notes and holding a direction for a certain amount of time.
That's it. All right, let's give this a try.
All right, here's where TASBot takes over.
RTA.
Here together.
Here together.
Okay, we got it.
That
Thank you very
green line
much.
is what we were looking for.
So that, you know, that round of applause was for Big Salt. His work is mostly done. Now comes the part where I have to not screw up and make the game crash. So, can you switch to me? All right, so this is what I'm seeing here. I'm gonna run the second script from the GDQ. And this is going to inject all of the statically linked data into the console's memory. This is like patches to the game engine for loading things from the expansion pack instead of from the cartridge and things like that. That's all done. And then let me just run a. Okay. Now I'm real nervous about screwing things up about this. So. One second.
So there are a series of different bootstraps that are happening right now.
No, they're all done. The bootstraps were the
Well,
first.
that's
Okay.
true. This
Yeah.
is the hyperspeed loader. We used a variety of different bootstraps to get to a point where we can now send data in chunks safely. So effectively, all of the setup that you saw Link doing when Link was moving around really strangely, that was input that was being stored and successively giving us more and more and more speed. When we first started out, the rate was only at about 10 bytes a second, roughly. And by the time we're done, we're at about the speed of a 56K modem. So we're not exactly blazing, but it's data that's being injected directly through the controller ports.
All right, so please pause and unpause and also go through a loading zone. Oh, yes, you need control again. I knew there was something I was forgetting.
Hang on, I'll fix that filter.
So we just put in a little music example, and just to make sure that this is all working. And so if you could go to, press L, press L again, unpause, use your BGM controls, L, A, and down, and go to 70. Go to 70, up, yeah. E, F, you're in the middle of it. 6, 5F, 5E, 5D. You need to go up to 70. Sorry, the command line output is a little confusing. And then right, all right, this is theme of TASBot. We'll just let this play for a minute. That's enough of it, right? All right, so
All right, so I played the
you
music.
can do that same combo and then we can stop BGM. Right, and you might as well pause also. All right, so now is time for you. So I'm going to go around and one person from, hopefully you've picked a person, one person from each group will just raise your hands right now and you keep them up and I will pick one person from each group and you'll give me a suggestion, all right? So starting over here, this group. Who had a suggestion? Everyone else, could you please be quiet?
For the music, the Flintstones theme on Arranger's Choice.
Okay, that's a popular one. Sure. This group. Okay, we could do that, maybe.
For the song See That?
We're just taking one from each group. So you want song CBAT over what original song? We'll come back to you for that. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. So we have. Hopefully, people will remember some of the good suggestions. We have TASBot with Heelys, Among Us, and then you'll remember the music suggestions, right? Yeah. Maybe. Okay. Can you type these down?
Yeah,
Okay. Person with the checkered shirt. Okay. Go back to you. Last Woods. You got that?
Last ones.
All right. You? Yeah. The model will be kind of crummy, but I can try. All right. Pink shirt.
Oh man.
I have seen him, but I would probably need a reference, so that might not be great because none of us really have internet, or it's really slow. Next person?
Melee Fox.
Melee Fox. The model will be pretty bad, but okay. Yes? Okay. For those people who are saying a character, can we have like because I can just make the 3D model and it'll just sit there, but can we have like a thing that they say or something like that? Sorry, not the music. I'm talking about like Link walks up to the character, like what happens? It just sits there, or Link talks to them and they have a voice, they have like line of text, or do a little animation or something like that. So I'll come back to the people who didn't give those, and we can ask you. Person in the hat back there.
Oh yeah.
Write that down.
That's hot.
What do you mean by Krusty Krab music? Could you clarify, please?
Can you give a little more mic for?
There it is.
Oh.
I get it.
All right, there was one more hand on that side. Yes?
Well, I guess this is for simple interacting with the characters, right?
Yeah. Well, simple interaction, but yes.
Can you make them make sounds?
Yes, but I may have to look at the list of all the sounds. Yeah. I'll come back to you. All right, there was one more person over here. Oh, okay. People on this side, starting from the front.
Replace Castle Town music with Chumbawamba's Town Town.
I don't know like half of these, but that's not my problem.
I know.
Next person in the there, you.
Is Shrek asking what we're doing in this swamp?
That is a good one. The model will be pretty bad, but I guess that's part of it, right?
So I'm going
Yeah.
to start repeating these. Just so the list we have so far, I missed one of them earlier, but we have TASBot. I believe it was TASBot wearing Heelys?
Yes.
Okay. Mario in the games, or Wario in the
Wario
games.
in the game. We missed. It was a good one. It was an Among Us.
Yeah, and Among Us.
Among Us.
Yes,
Among
Among
Us.
Us.
Among Us,
Yeah,
right.
Among Us. I committed a crime there. And then we had Pepsi Man, Melee Fox, Mega Man, Shrek asking what people are doing in their
Swamp,
swamp.
yes.
Okay, what was the next one?
All right, you. The model is it's probably not going to be possible to make a model that is like recognizable as him. Sorry.
That was replaced. Sorry, with Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Not today. In theory, yes. But what did you want? Like 420 rupees or 69 rupees or something? Yeah. So that could be a good thing to do, but not for this panel. That would be too much programming, and that like the more programming there is, the more likelihood that there is a bug, and then it just crashes, and then, yeah. Person behind them.
You do a remake of the Death Mountain theme in the baby slider.
There is no Death Mountain theme in Ocarina of Time. The music that plays when you're in Death Mountain is either like ambient nothing inside the crater, or it's Hyrule Field theme. Oh, Gerudo Valley with what?
With the
KK slider. You write that down?
I'm writing it down.
All right, person over there with the ears. That's a good one. Green hair. Shh, shh, shh.
Shirtless Waluigi, but all he says is wah.
Okay, Waluigi, and he just says wah. Oh, shirtless Waluigi. So, okay, I think it's going to be more likely that I take like the TASBot or the Amogus or something like that than the characters that have a lot of complexity, because it's just, I'm all right at Blender, but I'm not that good. This person? A briefcase. Okay, I don't know the reference. Does anybody else know that reference? Okay, we're probably not going to do it. Sorry. Person behind you. Too hard for today. Sorry. Purple shirt. Do you know it?
Yes, I know that.
Okay. Person with the white mask. Yes. Sorry, say that again? There's no taken. We're picking one song out of all these.
I'll need to look that up, but I'm sure.
We shouldn't take one that you have to look up. We should only take one that you know by heart. All right. Person with the finger up. Turn Navi into a fish?
Oh, that's
Yes, but not today. That's good. That would be. No. Person with the 3 fingers up. All right. Person. Yes, you. For over what?
Okay.
Okay. And last row. That is a very good suggestion. I think the other ones are more memey, but that is very doable. Person in the back. No modding the link model, unfortunately. That is a complicated. Sorry. Yeah, like any part of. So link is like not really one model. It's like a lot of pieces that get programmatically put together. So it's definitely possible for the modding scene or for like us, but not today. Somebody there? Not at MAGFest. All right, I think we have enough suggestions. I think the people that I'm seeing hands now were near other people, so sorry, you should have talked to them. I think we have plenty of suggestions here. I'm gonna let you have a moment and then pick the music, and you'll let us know. Actually, you could not let us know, because we're not gonna see her screen. So we can just get surprised about what the song ends up being. But I'll let you pick second. We'll pick first. So let me think about this. So I apologize in advance for offending everybody who I'm going to probably say nasty things about your suggestions. TASBot wearing Heelys is good. It's doable. It's a little less memey. Among Us is like exactly what I was looking for. Wario might be a little too complicated. Pepsi Man, I would need a reference. Melee Fox is probably too detailed of a model. Mega Man would be fine. Mega Man person, do you have a suggestion for what they should do?
Warp in and out, like he warps.
That's too much programming for today, but definitely possible.
Is Smash Victory pose? One of his Smash Victory poses? Or
Is that like?
just jumping. He does this.
Oh, yeah, okay, I think I can do that. Shrek asking about the swamp. Shrek is probably too complex of a character for today. Replace Saria with Danny DeVito? No.
What?
Waluigi, Pac-Man offering the player with a briefcase, replacing the Running Man with Sonic. You took down the ones that I said no to already.
Sorry, just in case. I thought you might change your mind.
All right. So I'm leaning towards Among Us, but the blue Pikmin that says hi.
Oh, is that what it was?
It says not raises a pie, Dwango. What
I
is-
misheard, okay?
Sorry, we have a question?
Oh,
the
I made
rupees?
the Skulltula 69.
Oh.
It was a consolation because we can't do the rupee thing, so.
You can do the rupee thing. Just set his rupees to 69 and unpause.
All right, which one of the
It's the
rupees?
top left.
The top left? All right, rupees
right.
are 69 too then.
So I'm leaning towards the Among Us, but I want a good suggestion for what the Among Us should like do or like say. Just sus. Okay, I think that's perfect. But the Among Us is, so they're just going to be like bouncing slightly and like no animation. Should we have like the head open up and a stabby thing come out? Okay. I think we can do that. That should be similar to both of them. And so it'll just be like NPC, you stand there, you talk to it, it'll say sus, and then the head opens up and the thing comes out. We have a whole bunch of hands up. Are these questions or suggestions or what? Okay, suggestion? So yes, but we'll first replace the beta Kokiri with the Among Us, because that's how I've been practicing. And then if that works, then we can try messing with elsewhere, and that might crash or go badly. So we'll try that at the end. Hi. So it's 8:26 because we used up, oh, not 8:26, that's California time. It's 11:26, so we should really get started. So I'm gonna try to keep this as simple as possible now. So I'm gonna actually make the Among Us without the head opening up first, or I'll make it the model with it, but I'm not gonna program that part first. I'll get it in first, and then we can make, as time permits, we can make more things. I'm seeing these are suggestions. I probably can't take any more suggestions at this point. So unless this is very pressing question that needs to take our time right now. Yes? Sorry?
MAGFest is sus.
Oh, MAGFest is sus. Okay, let's do that. Have you picked a song? Or I guess you're not going to tell us, right?
Figuring it
out. She's figuring it out. I'm going to get started. So if you could switch over to me.
All right.
Yeah, I'll make it red and sussy.
Red and sus.
So this is going to be, I'm going to sort of try to narrate, but I would appreciate if the talking in the audience was just a whisper. Sorry, I get easily distracted. So yeah, sorry about that. So we'll start with the model. Here's Blender. Get rid of everything. Add a cylinder that is too many vertices. Let's make it, no, I guess 16 is good. Whatever, that's this. So, whoops. Faces. Can we keep the talking in the audience to just whispers?
To a point, yeah.
Thank
I know,
you.
it's so hard, isn't it?
So, So this is Y. Let me grab Y1, see which way that is. All right, that's Y, forward Y, cell Y. Right, but I want to scale these. Sorry if this is a little boring, but that is how this goes. So,
That's pretty good.
No. Vertices. Extrude. Wait, what happened there? Sorry for those people leaving. This is what you signed up for. Sorry.
Come back in about half an hour, 45 minutes.
Merge. Merge. That is not the right face. This.
You have a question? Yeah, so the way that the game loads rooms in, I'm trying to be quiet so that he can work. The way the game loads rooms is that everything has a place in memory. So if you are carrying something, the way the game treats what you're carrying is it basically just applies an offset to Link's character. So you and the object are linked, no pun intended. And if you can figure out a way to unload an item, if you bring it into another room, then you have control of that item to the extent that it's linked to your character. So if you're turning, the item that's in your hands is also going to turn. So we set up memory in a way that we know what's going to be in his hands. We know what the room wants to put in that spot in memory by setting it up before we walk into the room. Getting the rock to unload is pretty simple. It's just the two camera glitches. One of them locks it in place, and the other one makes it fly away from you quickly towards the crawl space. And what that does is we pick the rock up, and then the camera flies away and it unloads. And then we make our way to a new room after we've set up the memory correctly, and then we have control over whatever's in Link's hands. Did that answer your question? Yeah, go ahead. The current any percent actually does not use ACE. We have, it looks like ACE, it's similar. We use the unloaded rock. It's a use after free trick, but it only requires stale reference manipulation and not like total control ACE.
Really quickly, if you are looking for more TASBot action, there's a lot more tomorrow. We have a panel by TyKevin83 tomorrow morning. TyKevin83 is right over here. You can find that in the guidebook. Okay, so it is so hard to talk through a mask, but I have to have it. Sorry.
Yeah.
By the way, if anyone wants one of these TASBot masks, just come up after. Anyway, so TyKevin83 will be doing a talk tomorrow morning in panels. Where are you located? Oh, you don't know? Okay, I'll get that info. It's in your guidebook. It'll be on. What's the actual title you decided to go with?
It's retro video game footage preservation.
Retro video game footage preservation. So that's a talk that's for the technical folks that are interested in how you get good quality images and captures out of all this stuff. After that, if you want to touch and hold TASBot, he is very cute. Come on over to the autograph session. You do have to sign up, so make sure you go to the guidebook and pull up that. Make sure you reserve your spot. But you can pass TASBot around and you can meet the entire team. This is only a portion of the team. I'm blessed to have some wonderful folks in the community that are here with us today and tomorrow. After that is a really fun treat you should not miss. We are going to have Dom, yes, the Dom that helped make MAGFest what it is, on a keyboard playing music to your requests during MAGFest while we play back the Super Smash Bros. Brawl tool-assisted speedrun of the Subspace Emissaries. If you don't know anything about that, it is one of the most impressive tool-assisted speedruns you've ever seen, and we're doing it with our own music being played over the top of it. And if that isn't enough, the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past full inventory is being played after that. That one was made with a map hack that shows where Link is on screen, or rather off a screen half the time. So that will be happening at MAGFest, benefiting Child's Play tomorrow afternoon. So swing on by then. There's a lot more fun to be had with TASBot stuff. So feel free to check out your guidebook. The TASBot team is on there. Looks like there is a pretty convincing character showing up here.
You said needs a bigger behind?
Are we giving him the anti-Mario treatment? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's sus.
Did I just hear somebody over there say dummy thick?
So fortunately, we didn't say he had to walk, so this is going to be very simple, one bone, which is good. I wanted his back to not be, want to have a little curve there, but I already built this. I forget there's some Blender way to do this. Let me see if I can find it. Edge, subdivide. I'm going to subdivide this edge. Okay. Subdivide, and then vertex mode, and then this one. So, sorry, I want this edge. Subdivide also.
Got a mouse.
And you didn't bring a mouse?
I can get one.
Subdivide, and now vertex mode. All right, that's a little better, right? Oh, did that not subdivide the other? Oh, no, it didn't. Because I got to get these tries off of it.
It is not easy to master Blender quickly. I'm pretty impressed at your speed, by the way.
Got to rotate some edges. Rotate, edge, rotate. What's rotate? There we go. Rotate edge. There we go. That's a little, oh no, this one needs to be rotated also. Sorry. Rotate edge. There we go. That's a little better. And then we move these in.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we got a dummy thick Among Us. This is a little. This one is a little too much. All right, there we go. And
Someone go get the Among Us cosplayers in here.
they'll find out about this eventually. So.
I was going to say don't tempt them, but, you know.
4%. So, actor. So we're going to make a new actor. Oh, no, that's not where the new folder is. Here. Among Us. So, Among Us. All right, so now materials. So we have 3 materials. We have the outside of the screen, the inside or the window, whatever, and then everything else. So these are going to be shaded materials. So this is, up until now, this is just, oh, I got to rename this, Among Us. Oops. So up until now, this has been straightforward Blender, but now this is modded Blender. This is a project called Fast64. It's basically N64 tools for Blender. So I have to make, oh, I haven't even set that up. So this is not Super Mario 64. This is Ocarina of Time. And
Potato.
yeah, let's get rid of this material because that was built in the wrong form. Yeah. This is Ocarina of Time. Show simplified UI, no thank you. So we got one material. This is going to be red sus. And
Yes, he said red sus.
no textures, right? You made this so much easier for me. No textures. This is great. One cycle, make it render a little faster. I need shading. I need callback face. I don't need fog. I need lighting, smooth shading. That looks good. And combiner, just shade color times prim color. And 0. So the way this is going to be red. So the way that the N64 works is there's a vertex shader, but basically there's the RSP, which acts sort of like a vertex shader, but there's no fragment shader. So what you get for fragments, which is like per pixel, if you don't know what any of this means, you don't have to worry about it, but on a per pixel basis, what you get is sort of it's just settings. You're just setting up these settings for how the material draws itself, and that's what I'm doing here. So, and then it has this plugin has a nice previewer for it. So the red for the body, that's fine, and we got to make the next materials. So I need a new one. Whoops, I don't want that. I want fast material. So window border. This will be blackish. So same deal. Oh, one cycle before well, I'll change those all at the end. One cycle, I don't need fog. And sources, this is going to be, again, shade color times prim color plus 0. And prim color is going to be mostly dark. And this isn't assigned to anything yet, so let me change that. So, sorry if I can ask for still a little bit of quiet. There, so faces, these ones will be assigned to new fast 54 material. Assign, then linked, how do I do this? Linked and unselect these. And assign to window border. So that's the black, or almost black, and now the window. Window is like bluish with a tint. So we'll do a, do I have a texture? We want to do oh, what's this called? Text gen. So this requires a texture, but I should have some texture that I can use for this. So let me see in my scenes. Unicorn Fountain, I think, has a water texture I can use. That's not great. Let's try Triforce Room Water. Yeah, let's have this be what's reflected. So actor Amogus. Actually, you know what? I wanted to be able to release this, and so let's make a texture, because I want to be able to put all this up, and I can't do that if I'm using original copyrighted content. So let's make a little blue thing. It's like blue and white, right? So blue, and let's make white. That's not enough. That's not a good pattern. Something like this. Then filters blur. Blur it a little bit more. Should be good. And then filters, where is it? I always forget where this is. Edge detect map. Tile seamless. Here we are. That doesn't look great, but I guess that's what we're going with because I don't have too much time. So this is our reflection. Let's just smudge over that a little bit.
Is there a question over here? Oh yeah, Dwango, do you have info about that?
What was that? What was the question?
Smash
SmashBot? Grav is, I don't know, did Grav get it going?
I think so.
The answer is not quite yet. There were some technical difficulties, so we still hope to get SmashBot going down in MIVS.
All right, so that was a little excursion here for texture. Let's make this one cycle again. And so this is going to be, let's make it kind of glowy. So let's make it just texture 0 color. Texture 0 properties, open, blue.png. And the UV map doesn't actually matter. And we put on text gen. And then you can see it does that. But I think the normals matter. And so I will actually do this. And, oh, actually, I should do it this way. So, normals split. No. What's the best way to do this? Edges. I think we're still good on time here. Let's just check this. So, split. No, why is it setting all of them? Oh, I guess that's what I need to do. Hold on. So face, all shade smooth. Now this one, just this one split. I guess that's fine. I guess we'll have to live with that for now. Now I gotta see the normals. So split normals. And then, actually let's just do it this way. All right, let's hide the normals. Sorry, 1 second. Face, shade smooth again. Normals, merge. Again. Face, shade smooth again. Then these ones, material, window, select, mesh, split selection. All right, now, I select this. I can do this one. This one. Normal, rotate. Here we go. So I want this aiming kind of outward.
Ah.
So rotate, outward. Outward. That's not really the right direction outward. Like that.
Over right, yes. Over here. FL Studio compatibility.
You're already exporting?
Yeah.
It's only been like 15 minutes.
I think I'm done.
You're done?
I think I'm done.
Well, I'm not done. All right, so you can sort of see the reflection in the glass, right? So
Yeah.
now we hope that actually works on the N64. It should, but yeah. Let's see. So, all right. So we have our Amogus. I got to check all of the materials setting here. This has got to be on opaque for all of them, or else we will get problems. Lower.
For the record, I am also done setting every possible inventory item that I can to 69.
That's
Speaking of numbers, we were talking about the technical preservation video game capture talk by TyKevin83. That will be in this room, panels 3, 11:30 tomorrow morning. So retro preservation, if you have any interest in that, come swing by and see that.
10. I think that's right. 10x. This might end up tiny. I might have to fix that later. So let's turn this off. Stop showing those. Okay. So got to animate. So he's going to just, or it is going to just, what are Amogus's pronouns? They? I don't know. Sus.
Their pronouns are sus.
Okay. Going through, the character is just going to bob up and down. So we just need the simplest possible armature. Sorry?
Oh, I was saying it does look like an N64 model.
It's supposed to be. So, add armature. No.
That is the wrong arm.
Armature. There we go. And look, this is 3D modeling. You know, that's how these things go sometimes. Where is this? Viewport display.
I think more like where.
No, like, I know you're thinking things. This is, we just have a bone, and everything's going to be...
You're not
attached.
helping yourself.
You know, we give them a little backside and everybody is fine with it, and then as soon as we add one bone, everyone loses their mind.
This is, I know it's funny, but this is seriously the right way to do the armature for this object that just has to float up and down. I'm sorry, folks. You know, I can make it bigger, but that's what we have. All right. So I got to do.
You are not helping yourself.
Armature. Armature. Well, it doesn't even matter. This is just going to be root. Root. Yes. Then this parent to this.
What's really impressive is that the original devs in the 1990s did not have access to tools like this. It was a lot harder for them to build these models. So as crazy and difficult as this might seem, which I have
This
to
is
say,
not difficult.
You're making this look really easy, by the way. I mean, I drove the struggle bus trying to do this, so.
Right. So let's get rid of that. Or, no.
Nintendo makes shown the kind of tools that the developers back then, SNES and 64 made models and music.
Yeah, so models were made there were 2 programs, one from SGI and one from a third party that were used for models. Both of them were terrible, and also the SGI computers they didn't have any hardware texture units. So the console was a lot more powerful than Hex 30. Okay, there's not Hex 30 banks.
What?
That can't be right.
What do you mean it's not right?
Goron City. Okay.
What do you mean it's not right?
Okay, I'll look at that later. Sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, please look at that again. There's got to be, there's maybe decimal 30 banks, but there's not hex 30 banks. That would be 48 banks. I don't think there's 48 banks. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's like one of the last ones. If you could double check. It should be like, a lot of things should be bank 3. Sorry. A lot of things should be bank 3, and then a few things should be higher numbers. If that's what it looks like, then maybe this is right. All right, so animate. So, insert. Since we only have 1 bone, we can just do very, very basic. Thank you for such a basic suggestion, because otherwise I would run out of time, yes. I was planning for a little bit more complicated than this, but 0, wait a minute. This is way too zoomed out.
Number 30.
Okay, you're sure about that?
It says it's 30.
Right.
Unless the number is not correct. But I'm looking at the sequences.
If you're looking at other sequences, are most of them bank 3? This number you're talking about?
Yeah.
This is not the bank number. That is the sequence number. You need to see what bank that sequence is mapped to. Yeah. Sorry. So that's too slow. Add here, scale, maybe that. That's still too, well, that's about right, right? And maybe that's a little too high. Is that sort of right? Now, there's also a thing is that we actually want it to be kind of a sine wave like that. So let's just go with it. So, got to get the 2 things exported here. So we have the skeleton, and I think I did the materials right. So skeleton, optimize, custom path, and custom file. No, not custom file name. Armature is Amogus. And that is amogus.001. Sorry, folks. Again, I'm sorry to ask, but can we keep the conversations to a whisper, please? Thank you. Sorry, this is so, this might sound boring, but like, hopefully this will just show up in the game, and hopefully it'll all be worth it. So, custom path, custom file name. Custom folder, custom path. No, that's there. This is right. Asset include path. I don't want an asset include path. Path is here. Folder. Let's hope that this is in the right place. I haven't made anything else in that folder, so let's find out. Actor Amogus, export skeleton. Is it here? Yes, it's here. All right, here's our texture. Here's the, I didn't set what it was a CI of. Well, I guess that's right. Let's see, CI. Sources texture is a CI what? Color index 8-bit. I guess that's fine. So this is the texture format. So like, color index is like a palletized texture, sort of like a GIF, where you get a certain number of colors, and then each pixel is the index for which color it is. So this is what Blender exported. This is the texture. These are not very high numbers, but that's all right. This is the palette. This is the colors. Like this is one 16-bit color. This is the mesh data. It's a little large, but that's fine. This is the vertex 1 try 1, vertex 2. Oh yeah, these are the different materials. Red sus, window border, and window. Window is a lot more complicated because we have texture and everything. These are very simple. And then Amogus limbs, and then Amogus. So, that's looks good for now. I guess I'll leave this open. All right, so next thing is I'm going to start with the base of Patrick Star. So I need this one, and this one, and this one, and oh, this is Amogus obj. Let me just do that right to start with, so that everything is in the, it's because it's obj, right, and then animation. So let me do this the right way. Get rid of these. Open Blender. This is Amogus obj. And then export skeleton, and then we also need the animations. So there's only one animation, which will be called Action Editor idle, right? And so then animation export, custom file name, custom path, folder here, and export. And this should be there. No, it's not. This is what it exported. That's not useful to me. File name, Amogus obj. Wait, custom file name. I don't want custom file name. So many options in this thing. Import animation. No. Did that overwrite this? That overwrote that. So Amogus obj, but it's supposed to have idle on it. All right. Amogus obj idle anim. Export animation. Amogus obj idle animation. And we've got to re-export the skeleton because we overwrote those. So we have this.
Okay.
Contents. We have this. Animation. This frame data. Joint indices. This doesn't move very much, so it's very simple. That's fine. So now what we got to do from Patrick Star? We need this, this, and something else out.load. So these are for a script that I don't even remember if we're using that anymore. I think this is being used. I got to edit the make file, and we got to pick a, this is going to be Amogus. We got to pick a actor and object entry in this. So we got to, the game has a bunch of actors, and some of them were removed. And so we got to pick a removed one. So this is, I was practicing. We have Patrick Star Mimic Chest, where this is going to be Amogus. So actor number is going to be 127. And that's going to go in a few places. And then object number, save, yes, thank you. Object list is going to be, so this one is a little better organized here. Hack, beta, hack. Oh wait, did I miss some? Yes, there was an empty slot somewhere. So hack. Patrick Star, Mimic Chest removed. So we can use this one. So Patrick, no, Amogus obj, right? And among Amogus. I guess that's a sufficient explanation. This is hack. And this will be 84, hex 84 or 132. This one needs to be 132. This needs to be in decimal, and then the other one can be somewhere else. So this is going to be Amogus. This is going to be Amogus obj. This is going to be Amogus obj.o and Amogus obj idle anim, right? And we don't need the third one. And this one is also this. Right, and the rest of this can stay. So this is 127 and 132, which is also hex 84. So I need to put that in here.
This is the equivalent of speed coding?
This is speed coding, right? 84. So this is the Patrick Star code, and I'm going to change it. So I don't need any of that. This is normal collider. There's no turn info. I don't need that. So NPCs will, if you set this up correctly in the code, they will like turn to look at link and it's like turning their head first, and then when their body gets to the end, it turns the body too. So it's like a bit of a complex thing. And that comes by getting, like, while it's in the middle of drawing, taking the current matrix, multiplying a head vector against it, and then taking the final position and putting that into a, oh, that's the target position. There's two pieces of it. Neither of them I think we're going to need, so I can actually get rid of all of this, set this to null, null, and this to null. And I need to change all of the references to Patrick Star to Amogus, replace all. So actor, scale anime, collider, joint table. We have this, set scale. We'll hope this might be too small, but we'll find out. It might be a little tiny Amogus.
A tiny Amogus who is dummy thick.
Yes. Update turn info. We don't.
By the way, if you had any doubts that Sauraen knows this game inside and out, this last minute and a half should have completely dispelled that.
There's maybe 10, well, okay, on the speedrunning side, there's like dozens of people who know the game better than me. On the coding, like ROM hacking side, I would say there's probably like 20 people in the world who know the game better than me. So, you know, I'm not number one. That's supposed to be like not a, whatever. So we're going to talk to him. This is the code from talking from Patrick Star. We had Patrick Star changing to raise his hand, but we're not doing that. So I'll take that out. And let's see, we'll just change it to idle, but let's see. Idle, can we make it not? Yeah, let's make it, so change to idle, but make it 1 frame long. And loop stop at end. I forget what the name of that is. 10. So should stop animating when, or just sort of stay there. Well, let's not even bother with that. Let's not even bother. Well, I don't want to change this too much. Idle animation, enum loop. Okay, this is fine. Update talking, actor request to talk. That's right. So this is the part where like I have to hope I don't miss something, because if I miss something, either I'll get a compile error and that's fine, or it'll crash and then, oops. This is this. Yeah. So this is fine. So we got to add Amogus to our make file. So Amogus, beta great fairy, beta cohere, etc. And we got to add it to our run file. So we're going to inject, this is memes data, miscellaneous scene patches, what's going to be this, the custom text, we need custom text, and then, whoops, that's not in this text editor, home, and got to get what these names are. So let's see what they are. So this was in here, window, this was 127, actor 127, actor amogus.zoval, Zelda overlay, that's what that means, object, act 132, actor amogus zobj.zobj, and we need to change the text. MAGFest is sus, all lowercase, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Text. Messages, so there's the whole Triforce script in here. Make another one, 910, let's make this 911. Oh, I don't want that number, 920. Coding, that's how this works, right?
Sus.
MAGFest is sus, right?
Yes.
That's all. So black, middle, whatever. Color red, right? We have color red. No, we don't. Orange. I don't think I used too much custom colors. Let's just get rid of that. Trying to reduce the likelihood of things crashing by not exploring too much more space, at least until this first time it gets in. Hopefully it'll work. So let's rebuild everything. Let's first just build this in case there are compile errors, which there will inevitably be. Right.
There
So
it is.
Hand up animation. I don't need a hand up animation anymore. Yes. So we don't have to wait for that. Object idle. Let me just look at my make file again. Mogus idle. I think that's right. Hope that's right. Oh, I need to do one more thing. I need to change the room patches. So, wait, how many terminals do I have open now? I have a third one. Where did the third one go? This is the third one. So I need to change the room patch to now load that actor and that object. So, instead of the beta Kokiri, which isn't there, which it would then immediately crash. So this was in spot 10, which is Kokiri Forest, and I think this was the room 7 patch. Yeah, Patrick Star, Mimic Chest, so let's comment that out. And I guess the people who are still here are the loyal ones, right? It was 84. You know, 8-Bit Big Band is on at the same time as this panel, the first part of this panel. I was so bummed that they scheduled us at the same time.
I know.
Talk into the mic.
I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, 84, right. Let me just make sure, triple check here. 132 is 84, right?
I have no idea.
Hex 84, 132. You do this for a living.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You don't do this, but you can.
You're asking someone with dyscalculus to do math.
This is 142.
Amogus. It is, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 84 is 142. I can math.
No, sorry, other way around. Oh, yeah. No, 132. Yeah, okay. And then this is 7F.
I'm stupid.
So these are patches. So when the game, I can do a little explanation here, right? So when the game loads room 7 of spot 10, which is the room of Kokiri Forest where the beta Kokiri is, our patches to the operating system will intervene after it completes the load, but before it gets returned back to the game code. And it will look through a list of patches and say, oh, here's a patch from the Triforce % team. We want to change at address 68, we want to put in these values, and address B0, we want to put in these values. So this is loading objects. This was for the beta Kokiri, but we're changing one of the objects to be the Amogus instead. And then this is the actor to place the Amogus actor. So there's actor, which is like the code and temporary data, and then there's the object, which is the model and the animations and stuff. And so this is going to load actor 7F and object 84. This is the position, this is the rotation, this is the parameter. We don't need that. So compile this again, and there's more errors. So Amogus obj, okay. I have some errors with that. So now I did a little find and replace, and this needs to be all caps. Amogus obj, and there should be somewhere else. No. Is that the only thing?
You can find out.
We'll find out. No. It's still wrong. What did I do? Joint table here. So that's probably not defined. And then scale anime. Oh, I'm missing a parentheses somewhere. What did I do? No, that's right. Oh, null, comma. All right, and now,
Hey,
no, it didn't. File not found error, no Amogus obj.out.load. I copied that over, but I didn't rename it from Patrick Star. So this is part of obj. So this is part of our tool chain that we made for Triforce %. Normally, let's say you're doing like a decomp-based ROM hack. You would just be like changing the game code and then like rebuilding the game code. And like the linker and stuff will figure out where all of the addresses are. And this is, no, command not found. What happened? Novel, wait a minute. What happened? Oh, because I made clean. No, I don't think that's why. I hope that something isn't wrong with this. No, Novel is one of our dependencies, right? It's just one of our dependencies. Sorry. Yes, it's one of our dependencies. Sorry, okay, I just got worried that somehow a program on here disappeared that was part of the so this is building all of Triforce %. You saw music go by, you saw, I will do the music. I want to get this working, see if it works first. Static data ran out of data, so wait, I don't even care about that. That's for the ROM hack version. Wait, I can just remove, I can remove some of the other actors that we're not using, like Patrick Star and Mimic Chest. Sorry about that. You're very interested, right? How many people would rate their level of interest right now as very high? Really?
Really? Wow.
I am surprised. I thought most people were like almost on their way out the door.
It helps that you're narrating.
How many? Yeah, it helps I'm narrating. How many people know at least 3 programming languages? Okay, that explains that. All right, that's done. So, let me rebuild just this one, just in case addresses did not get updated. Amogus out.load. I think that got updated, but let's just redo this one. Make clean, make. And that's right. All right? All right. One more thing to add them. 2.5 years. I started Triforce % within a week of the ACE exploit being found. We had by that July, which was 2 years before GDQ, we had the Triforce scene just by itself being injected, but we didn't have a speedrunner who was good enough to do the setup, so we were still cheating a little bit. And then the rest of the time, well, a lot of things took time, but eventually took time to make the whole plot and make the ending with the Breath of the Wild characters and everything. So yeah. So all right, my run file.
Another question in the back.
Memes data. Oh, I already did this. Already did this. All right. So I'm gonna run. Can you go into a house and also change the BGM in your little selector thing to not be 60? Go back to 6, 7 or something and play that one. Okay, sure. And then leave the house. I just want to make sure that is not being used when I overwrite it. What was in the music test? It was just that and that. Right, okay. Wait, just hang around there for a second. This is going to be memes data. I'm trusting that you're switching back and forth as needed here, right? So memes data. So we're injecting messages. That's the whole Triforce % thing. Injected the Amogus code, which was very short, and then the object file, which is a little longer. It's all done. Could you head to the Lost Woods and go to that same room that we were testing with before?
So, this is the first test. Inevitably, something will go wrong?
Well, so yeah, the question is, it's 30% chance that it will just crash when we walk into the room, and then we're screwed. And there's a 70% chance that you'll get some, messed up Amogus that we can then, re-inject and fix. So, cross your fingers for the 70%. Crash. Hey! Can you go up and talk to it? Yes. Whoops. So I made a little mistake, and also there's a lighting issue. So All right, while you enjoy the posterior there, let me fix my mistake. Well, actually, please switch back. So I still had the text ID be the one from Patrick Star. I forgot to change it to 920, right? So text, right, and messages, it was 920, right? So now it's 920, but also let's see if I can fix, can we go back to the game? That lighting looks atrocious. I don't actually know what could be possible. Oh, did I not set? Oh, I see what's happening. There's a raycast. I didn't set the target position. Let me set the target position. So I did this on the other actor that I tested. No chest. Sorry, pipe down, you folks.
By the way, don't leave just yet. There's still the music.
Yeah, there's still the
track you
music,
asked
and I don't
for.
even know what it is.
And
so-
we don't even know what it is. So stick around just a little longer if you can.
Did you find the banks?
Is it that?
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
And so that's the one that a lot of them are 3. Right? Like a lot of them are 3, and then not like all of them. They're sort of mixed, but there should be several of them that are 3. Okay. Sorry, one more thing is we got to change. I think the lighting issue is coming from the target position being in the ground. And if the target position is in the ground and it does a raycast to figure out what the light intensity should be, it might be sometimes above the ground and sometimes below the ground. That's my guess. So I'm going to fix the target position to be up, like at the correct position. So update attack. So we have a focus position and a world position. So let's just do this, and 30 is about right. Update talking, wait, yeah, update comment. An actor, whatever. Let's make it a little taller, 40, and make this a little taller. Can you exit back to the Sacred Forest Meadow? You know where that is? So it's this way, and then here. So I've changed a couple things. Maybe the lighting will get fixed with this, and maybe it won't. We'll find out. So I'm going to re-inject the same thing we injected before. And once this is done, then we'll switch back to the game. All right, you can go back in. Go back to the Amogus.
Yeah, most of these are 0.0.
Yeah, okay, great. It's not entirely fixed, but is the text fixed? And just to remind you, this is a vanilla cartridge. This is vanilla Ocarina of Time. This is just glitches. This is just live, arbitrary code execution and things. This is not a mod. This is not a ROM. Well, I mean, it's modding the console's RAM in real time via glitches, but there's no ROM changes. This is vanilla game. So let's, as our last thing here, we have 11 minutes left. Let's see what is on this flash drive. I hope the name, you said Goron City. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Yeah, E, okay. So let's see what's in here.
I think you just unplugged it.
I did unplug my mouse, and I realized that after I said it. Ocarina meme.audioseek. So let's put this in music. And it doesn't really matter that it's Goron City. Let's give you that back. Ocarina music. So let's first add that to the end of the run file. Injecting music is actually one of the easier things. So memes data at the end of this. So when we re-inject, it'll get overwritten over the same memory. Everything will get overwritten, but it's overwritten with the same data. So that's fine. And then we want some music. So music is static data, but let me just get it from here so that I'm not guessing. So static data, here we go. And let's get a particular song. And it's going to be music / ocarina meme.ac, right? And this is going to be, let's make it 71. Can you make sure when you go through the BGM that you don't accidentally hit 70?
Sure.
Okay. And you said 09 or OE? OE. So this is which bank it uses is OE, and it's going to be 71. And let's see what happens.
There's the cap to the flash drive.
Oh, it's right here. Sorry about that. So please use the audio interface thingy and go to number 71. Crossing fingers. 71. I think we have some instrument problems, but let's see what happens next. Neither of ours was perfect, but you know, that's kind of the point, right? So, I am a Rube. What meme is this?
This is Among Us track remix.
Who suggested that? Give him a hand. And who suggested the Among Us with the large posterior? Okay. Oh, well, then screw him. Let's all take credit for it. Yeah! All right, so once again, I know everybody probably understands this, but for people watching on YouTube later, this is an unmodded cartridge. This is the original ROM. We just pressed buttons. TASBot pressed a lot of buttons, and this all happened. So I was thinking of setting up something in advance with like an end credits for us and everything, but I didn't get to that. So I think we're done, right?
Yeah, before we go, hey,
Yeah.
first of all, I'd like to give a huge round of applause to our runner who nailed it.
Thank you, everybody.
Where can people find you? I didn't catch your full name.
I'm Big Salt. You can find me on twitch.tv/BigSalt64.
All right. And our composer.
Arranger.
Talk into the microphone. So MBC is a senior staff arranger at Siva Gunner. I'm also a Siva Gunner Ripper, but we're not really supposed to talk about that. So, yeah. And my name is Sauraen. I don't have, well, I guess you can look at my stuff on GitHub. I'm not a content creator with a profile that you can like follow or whatever, but yeah, if you look up Sauraen, if you can spell my name, Sauraen. I also have business cards. I just finished up my PhD and I'm looking for work.
Hire him. He's good at his work.
I'm a GPU programmer and like low-level systems programmer. So as you can probably guess. So yeah, I have business cards. So if you know of any opportunities, please come up and see us. We have 6 minutes before the scheduled end of our panel. So if anyone has any questions, we'll take some questions or any thoughts about Triforce % or anything anyone would like to say.
And before any questions, really quick, last but not least, if you are interested in being part of this, you don't have to be super technical. You can come chat in our community. We are at discord.tas.bot, or if that gives you trouble, go to discord.gg/TASBot. That's discord.gg/TASBot. We are a fantastic community, so swing by. We are also, a lot of this content comes from tasvideos.org. I am an ambassador from them. And yeah, thank you so much for showing up. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, you,
Black shirt.
yeah, black shirt holding up a badge. Yes, you. So it looks like, well, my guess is that the normals are somehow changing when it is being animated, but that's not really how the game normally works. So I don't really know what's going on. This one? Sorry, everybody, shh.
Oh, that's the thing. Ace
That
can do
was
anything.
Triforce percent.
Yeah, Triforce percent was possibly the biggest thing the TASBot community might ever be able to do, and largely because of Sauraen really just going above and beyond. I would say roughly 2/3 of it was Sauraen just pushing and pushing to make everything happen. Without someone with that kind of passion, we will not have anything as large as that again in the future. So, any programmers that are here, please, I beg of you, swing on by discord.gg/TASBot. If you have a game that you would really like to do something to, we have resources. We have people who can help you, but we'll need your help to bring passion to a project like what you saw out of this.
Well, this is not really passion, but, you know, Triforce percent. Question in the back? Yeah. Yeah. No, so the other options other than that, we had like things programmed for the other options, but for the final ending, like we could, you know, if we had programmed in 3 totally separate final endings, that would have been a total waste of time. Right, no text, it ignores the choice and just always goes on. So yeah, sorry. If we had more time, I would just run Triforce percent, you know, inject it right now and go through it, but we were gonna get thrown out of the room in a few minutes, so yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the strategies are all possible. The difference is that Majora's Mask uses the expansion pack, whereas Ocarina of Time doesn't, so it's just available for us to dump data into. So if we did this with Majora's Mask, the sort of equivalent would be whenever you go through a loading zone, it would then at that time load data from TASBot. And so we'd actually have like a loading zone that takes 5 seconds or you know, 20 seconds or something. Maybe we can find, like, I don't think Majora's Mask uses like every byte of RAM in the expansion pack, so maybe we can like carve out some chunk of RAM that we can dump things in. But yeah, we have been thinking about like some sort of been drowned themed thing. But actually an interesting thing about that is we would want, you know, if you're playing and you get some weird bend drown thing happens in the game, the first thing you're gonna do is just like shut off the console and just like start it again, right? And so what we would really like to see is persistent ACE, where you can use ACE to write to the save file in such a way that when you load the save file again, it glitches out and you get ACE again. And that has not been discovered yet. But it would be a much better experience to do a bend drown thing if we had that. So I don't know if I'm ever going to do that. I don't know what the future will hold. I'm trying to, you know, get a job and do real world work and stuff. So
okay, we
we'll
have
see.
2 questions over here, and we have 2 minutes, so they got to be
Yes.
fast. Because the console is not deterministic. With a Nintendo console, the only source of entropy, the only seed of the pseudo-random number generator is player input. If you provide the exact same sequence of button presses
That's
to
for a
Super
NES.
Mario Bros. 3 for a Nintendo Entertainment System, you will always get, say, Super Mario Bros. 3, you always get the Hammer Brothers moving in the same way. If you changed one input, the Hammer Brothers would result in a different outcome. We cannot fully control the random number generator in this. We cannot get deterministic outcome.
There's
So-
2 clock crystals and they will drift relative to each other. And then the RNG is based on a CPU cycle counter. And so the number of cycles that it takes to do something will change the RNG. It'll diverge.
In fact, this is how you make
It's
a
more
sim.
than that, but it's like, it's really bad. You play a task, like 10 seconds in, Link will not do the same thing. It's
Yeah.
really bad.
And it's so bad that, in fact, you use 2 different clocks at different speeds to create a randomness source. So this is bad.
Yeah.
There was one more question, and then we'll probably cut it off.
I don't want to talk about that in too much detail because I'm trying to keep my personal life and my professional life or my online life a little separated. But if you really want to know, you can talk to me later.
All right.
All right.
I think we have
Thanks
run out
for
of time.
coming, everybody.
Thank you so much. If you want a mask, come on up.
Oh yeah, if you want pictures with TASBot, and we also have Triforce decal stickers. So please, we'll hand those out too.